Episode 30 of Love's Ambition doesn't begin with laughter. It begins with silence. A silence heavy with loss. The kind that tells you something precious is about to break. The Shen family, once built on pride and power, now trembles on the edge of collapse. Under the cold hospital lights, the rhythmic beep of a heart monitor echoes. Faint, fragile, fading. A father falls. A son withdraws. And between them stands a woman, caught between life and death, holding on to love that's slipping away. This is no longer a story about wealth or reputation. It's about the fragile thread that binds a family, and how easily it can unravel. Episode 30 arrives like a storm, stripping away pretense, revealing what's real. Pain, regret, and love that endures. Some wounds cannot be seen, yet they are the very ones that make us human. That's the quiet heartbeat of this episode, a reflection on how love and forgiveness can still bloom, even from the ruins. In Love's Ambition, episode 30, everything begins with a fall. Shen Haoming collapses at the dinner table, a single heartbeat away from the man he used to be. One moment, he's the patriarch in control of everything. The next, he's a fragile body on the floor, gasping for air. At the hospital, the cold fluorescent lights reflect off his pale face. The slow, uneven beeping of the heart monitor echoes through the corridor, each sound marking not just the fragility of his life, but the collapse of everything the Shen family once stood for. In that instant, it isn't just his heart that stops. It's the rhythm of the entire family. But tragedy doesn't stop there. Elsewhere, young Shen Haochen faces a truth no child should ever have to bear. He is not his father's biological son. Whispers spread, stares linger. The world around him turns cruel, and the boy retreats into silence. No words, no laughter, no appetite. Just the quiet gaze of a child watching the world fade beyond the window pane. The father's body fails. The son's soul shatters. Two heartbreaks, mirroring each other. One visible, one unseen. Together they form a portrait of despair that defines the very core of episode 30. This isn't just the fall of a family. It's the unraveling of love itself. In the midst of chaos, only Shu Yan remains standing. She doesn't scream, she doesn't collapse. Instead, she quietly holds her son's hand, her husband's hand, facing the storm that has swallowed their world. Under the sterile white light of the hospital, Shu Yan seems fragile, almost translucent. Yet within that fragility lies her greatest strength, the calm courage of a mother who knows, when everyone else is afraid, someone must stand still to keep faith alive. When Shen Haoming regains consciousness, Shu Yan makes a choice. She takes young Shen Haochen away from the city to the quiet town of Qingshui, a place untouched by judgment, where the air smells of rain and the sky remembers peace. Each morning she sits beside her son, gently feeding him breakfast. He doesn't speak, but his eyes soften, just a little. No dialogue is needed. It's a moment so silent, yet it speaks volumes. A tender, wordless scene that fans have called the most human moment in the series. Shu Yan is not a hero. She is simply a mother who refuses to let go. And perhaps that's what makes her light so radiant. Because even in ruin, she chooses love over despair. In Qingshui, where rain falls softly over old rooftops and the wind hums through the trees, time itself seems to pause, as if listening to the quiet between two broken souls. Shen Haoming, once proud, unshakable, untouchable, is no longer the man he used to be. He's not the powerful CEO, not the father who demands perfection, but simply a man, trembling as he faces the truth within himself. That night, under the dim light of a small lamp, he looks at Shu Yan, the woman who never left, who carried him through the wreckage. No more accusations, no more distance, only silence. And in that silence, understanding. Haoming breaks down. Tears fall onto his clasped hands, not as a sign of weakness, but release. Through that trembling breath, he whispers 3 simple words: I love you. It isn't the grand declaration of a romantic drama. It's quieter, truer, the confession of a weary heart that has finally found its home. Shu Yan doesn't answer right away. She simply smiles, placing her hand on his shoulder. No words, no promises, because sometimes love isn't something you say, it's something you stay for. After days of silence, light returns to the Shen family. The father, Shen Haoming, finally opens his eyes after surgery. When his trembling hand reaches for his son's, it's more than a sign of life. It's the rebirth of faith, of connection, of family. In that quiet room in Qingshui, Haoming stares at the paternity test, a thin sheet of paper that once tore his world apart. He holds it for a long moment, and then tears it to pieces. Not out of anger, but acceptance, because he finally understands. Fatherhood isn't proven by blood. It's chosen through love. Shu Yan watches him, her gaze calm, luminous. In that silence, no words are needed. They both know their family has been reborn. Months later, Shu Yan opens a small shop, Yan's Atelier. It isn't grand or luxurious, just a warm space filled with sunlight and the scent of new fabric. A place born not from ambition, but from healing. When little Haochen walks in, smiling, his first smile in so long, the world seems to pause. They're not a perfect family, but they are together. And sometimes that's all it takes to be whole again. After all the heartbreak, Love's Ambition, episode 30, leaves us with one quiet question. What truly makes a family? Is it blood, or the love we choose to give? Shen Haoming found his answer. When he tore that paternity test, it wasn't just paper. It was the wall between blood and belonging. He chose to be a father not by DNA, but by devotion. Shu Yan stayed, not out of duty, but out of faith. Faith that families don't have to be perfect, only real. And little Haochen, with his first smile after so much silence, became the living proof that love can heal, and forgiveness is where happiness begins. Every storm ends, and so does this one. After all the tears, Love's Ambition. Episode 30 closes not with sorrow, but with peace. Shu Yan stands behind her fabric counter, her smile soft, her eyes calm. Shen Haoming returns to his work, but now his gaze carries gratitude instead of pride. And little Haochen, the boy who once fell silent, finally whispers a single word. Dad. It's quiet, fragile, yet it holds all the healing in the world. Episode 30 isn't just an episode. It's a journey of 3 souls rediscovering love and themselves. Because sometimes, to truly love, we must first learn to let go and forgive. Family isn't where we're born. It's where we are loved. And perhaps that's what Love's Ambition wanted us to remember most.